Welcome to our continuing series, Questions and Answers, from the works of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. Today, Delight, Part 2, from Sri Aurobindo. The general power of delight is love, and the special mold which the joy of love takes is the vision of beauty. The God-lover is the universal lover, and he embraces the all-blissful and all-beautiful. This, then, is the way of devotion, and this its justification to the highest and the widest, the most integral knowledge. And we can now perceive what form and place it will take in an integral yoga. Yoga is, in essence, the union of the soul with the immortal being and consciousness and delight of the divine, effected through the human nature, with a result of development into the divine nature of being, whatever that may be, so far as we can conceive it in mind and realize it in spiritual activity. The aim of this synthetic or integral yoga, which we are considering, is union with the being, consciousness, and delight of the divine through every part of our human nature, separately or simultaneously, but all in the long end harmonized and unified, so that the whole may be transformed into a divine nature of being. The ascent of life is, in its nature, the ascent of the divine delight in things, from its dumb conception in matter to its luminous consummation in spirit. Like the other original divine principles, this delight also must be represented in us by a cosmic principle corresponding to it in the apparent existence. It is the soul, or psychic being. As there is a subliminal, luminous mind behind our surface mind, a subliminal life behind our mortal life, a subliminal, wider corporeality behind our gross body, so we have a double soul, the superficial desire soul and the true psychic entity. The superficial in us is the small and egoistic. The subliminal is in touch with the universal. So our subliminal or true psychic being is open to the universal delight of things. The superficial desire soul is shut off from it. It feels the outward touches of things, not their essence, and therefore not their rasa, or true touch. And because it cannot reach the universal world soul, it cannot find its own true soul, which is one with the world soul. The desire soul returns to the triple response of pleasure, pain, and indifference, but the psychic being behind it has the equal delight of all of its experiences. It compels the desire soul to more and more experience, and to a change of its values. By bringing this soul to the surface, we can overcome the duality of pleasure and pain, as is actually done in certain directions of experience by the artist, nature lover, God lover, etc., each in his own fashion. But the difficulty is to do it in the desire soul at its center, where it comes into contact with practical living. For here the human mind shrinks from the application of the principle of equality. To bring this subliminal soul to the surface is not enough, for it is open passively to the world soul, but cannot possess the world. Those who thus arrive become close to the universal delight, but not masters of life. For there are two principles of order and mastery, one false, the ego sense, the other true, the Lord, who is one in the many. By merely suppressing the ego sense in the impersonal delight, we gain the centerless impersonal and are fulfilled in our static being, but not in our active being. We must therefore gain the other center in the supermind, by which we shall consciously possess and not merely undergo the delight of the One in his universal existence. If then, being free to move or remain eternally still, to throw itself into forms or retain the potentiality of form in itself, it indulges its power of movement and formation. It can be only for one reason, for delight. Namaste.